What up, people? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So today's show, I'm going to be talking about how insecure men approach the dating game. Okay? So I'm going to go in real quick, before I get to the calls and all of that. What up, Odami? What's good? What's popping, my dude? So before I get into anything, though, remember, How to Have Sex with Two Women a Day, the greatest book on earth, is available for you guys to get. You get the hard copy, the ebook, or the audiobook. What up, Real Deal? D Money, BGD, hello, what's going on? What's popping? What's the deal? So, real quick before, people start calling in and all of that, right? I wanted to talk about how insecure men approach the dating game. You feel what I'm saying? And the thing is, right? I'm getting all these messages from Facebook and shit. Crazy. But anyway, this is the thing. A lot of dudes out here, right? They're approaching the game on some insecure shit. Right? And now, one of the things that you have to understand is this. What up, people in the chat room? We got Albert Michelson was good. Sweet Potato Pie was popping. Savage D Savage was good. Oh, and by the way, I'm kind of sick, so if you guys hear coughing, if you guys hear sneezing, I might have some tissue, I might blow my nose. I'm just letting you guys know now. But anyway, so a lot of dudes, they approach the game on some insecure shit, right? Now, this is how you can tell the difference between if you're approaching a girl or you're approaching a game just in general on some insecure shit or some confident shit, right? So the confident dudes, what they do is they approach the game with the game being about them, about themselves. The insecure dudes approach the game being about the chick. Okay, so the confident dudes approach the game when it comes to it being about them, because I've always said, look, the game is about you, right? The insecure dudes approach the game with the game being about the chick. So, for example, when I talk about the game being about you and you being confident in approaching the game in that way, what I'm saying is this, is that you're basically figuring out what you want, what your purpose is, what you're about, the things you want to do, the things you want to accomplish in life. You do those things, and as a result, you get chicks who gravitate to you, who follow you, who are attracted to you for who you are, or you basically, seek out those type of women who are going to follow your program. You feel what I'm saying? So confident dudes do that. Now, what insecure dudes do, what they're thinking about is, what can I do to get her to like me? Now, first of all, they think that the women don't like them anyway. You understand? So they're like, what tricks and gimmicks can I do to get the girl to like me? What does she want? What's going to make her want to call me? What's going to make her want to have sex with me? What do I need to do to get her interested in me? Right? Now, see, this is the thing. When you're learning game, right, the thing that confuses a lot of guys is you want to be able to know the best course of action to get girls to, be interested in you and want to get with you. So on the surface, it seems like you're like, well, isn't that what you're trying to do? You're trying to get girls to like you. So wouldn't you figure out, what to do for them to get them to want to fuck with you, right? But see, what you don't understand is that when you're doing it that way, you're doing it backwards. Because the thing is, it's about a woman following you. You understand? It's not about you following women. It's not about you trying to kiss up or impress women. It's not about you trying to find tricks and gimmicks in order to get her to like you. It's not about that. It's about you figuring out who you are, what you're about, what you want, the things you want to do, and find chicks who want to follow you. You understand? But see, a lot of dudes who are insecure, they don't think a woman would ever want to follow their program. They don't think the women like them. So they're figuring out, see, it's like this. A guy who's confident, he's like, let me see which chicks I want to fuck with. The guy who's insecure, he comes into a room and he's like, I hope one of these chicks like me. See, the confident guy is like, let me see which chicks I want to fuck with. The insecure guy is like, I hope this girl or that girl likes me. You understand? And so the thing is, the confident guy is not worried about a chick liking him because he know women are going to like him. And see, I did a few videos about confidence, for the past few days. And, a lot of dudes is getting it. Certain dudes it was still kind of going over their head. You know what I'm saying? So I did like 2 of them. And the thing is, I was trying to really get guys to understand this whole concept of when we talk about confidence and how important the motherfucking shit is. You understand? Because it basically shows you how you look at the game. Right? And now the funny part is, I was getting a lot of dudes that was hitting me up, through the email. Some dudes hit me up on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever. And they were asking me, they're like, but, how do you display to a girl that you're high value? How is she going to see you, as that guy? Right? And now this is the tricky part, because this also plays into how confident guys do shit and how insecure guys do shit. See, what insecure guys do is they pretend to be high value. You understand? Confident guys actually become high value. Insecure guys pretend to be high value. Confident guys become high value. Or they basically are high value anyway. You understand? But that's a whole deeper thing, because we all have value to basically give out and distribute. You feel what I'm saying? But what you have to understand is that some guys don't recognize their value. Right? So the insecure guys are trying to pretend to be this high value guy, even though they do have value, they just don't see it. But they're pretending to act a certain way to get girls. But the guys who are confident, they understand their value, right? So they already know, or what they're doing is that they might not be too sure, but they're actually trying to become that high value guy. It's like this. Let me ask you guys a question. Let me take a sip of my tea real quick. Oh, that shit is good. Anyway, like this. If you were sick, would you rather go to a person who's really a doctor? Or would you go to a person pretending to be a doctor? Right? Would you rather go to a person who is actually a doctor or a person who's pretending to be a doctor? Most of you would say, I want to go to the actual doctor. Why? Because the value that doctor provides is real. You see what I'm saying? So what happens is, right, is that a lot of you guys out there, you're acting like the guy who's pretending to be the doctor. You understand what I'm saying? You're pretending to be that high value guy. So when the woman approaches you, or let's say you get the girl to go on a date with you, she realizes quickly that you are not that high value guy. And a lot of times you don't get that chick because she sees through the facade. You see what I'm saying? But if you were the guy who was becoming high value, who was doing his thing to become that high value guy, then the women would actually see that you're really high value. It's like this. Let me ask you guys another question, right? Let's say you see a girl on Tinder and you're looking at her pictures, and her pictures make it appear that she's really hot, right? So you swipe right on her and you match, and you're like, oh, this chick is bad, I want to see her, whatever. So let's say you go on a date. You meet up with the chick. You meet up with her, but the next you know, you realize that she's like 15, 20 pounds overweight, right? I'm going to get to the calls in a second. You realize she's like 15 to 20 pounds overweight. You realize that she had on a whole bunch of makeup, and when you saw in person, she didn't look as hot as you thought. Right? How do you feel about her now? So this happens when you sort of pretend to be high value or try to like fake it till you make it high value shit. And then the girl actually meets you. Let's say she saw you on Tinder, and now she sees the real you, and she's like, you know, what the fuck? You understand what I'm saying? So the same thing happens when you see that girl, You thought she was this hot, then when you see the person, you realize you see the real chick, and you're like, this is some bullshit. Same thing if, you're pretending to be that high value guy, and when the chick meets you and she sees that you're really not, because you can't keep up the lie for too long. You understand? And then she's going to be like, nah, I ain't really fucking with this dude. And I know a lot of chicks who tell me this, because I do coach women also. You understand? So, you guys got to understand what the deal is. So he said, what is the insecure hidden value dude supposed to do? And that's an excellent question. So I was about to get to that. And this is the key. This is the motherfucking key. Okay? What you need to do is, right? To actually be high value, to become high value, right? What you need to do is you need to actually do the things that is required of you to become that high value guy. So what that means is that you have to be on your purpose. You have to figure out what you are about. What do you want to do? Because then what happens is that all of your interactions with women will be, dictated through your high value. So for example, like you guys hear me say this all the time, where I say, look, if you get a girl's number or somewhere, let's say you set a date with a girl, you go on a date, right? And then you don't call her that whole week, and then you hit her up again the next week to set up another date, right? Now you're doing this to, create that uncertainty, to make sure that you're not sweating her and everything like that, right? Now, that's what you're doing. You're doing that on the outside. That's the surface. That's what you're doing to create the situation to keep going, right? But what happens is this is the issue here, is that when most guys are doing that, what they're doing is they're creating an event out of calling that girl the next week. So they're like, oh, I went out with her on Friday, and then now you're saying, okay, I'm going to wait a week, and I'm going to call her on Thursday night of the next coming week. So now you're sitting around all week, not doing shit, and you're anticipating calling her. Now you're basically putting this chick on a pedestal. You see what I'm saying? But instead, if you were actually on your purpose and doing the shit that you were going to be doing anyway in your life, that week would have gone by with you filling that shit up with whatever the fuck you do in your life. So when it comes to calling that girl, you understand? It doesn't become an event. It's just some, chick you'll probably hit up to see her again, and it is what it is. So then imagine when you're actually that high value dude, because you got so much shit going on in your life, that when you deal with this girl, imagine how relaxed you're going to be when you're on the date. Imagine how smooth you're going to be when you're on the date. Imagine how much of the interaction is going to be, some back and forth cool shit on the date versus you being thirsty because you had nothing else to do. You made this girl your purpose. You made this girl the big event that was coming up next week versus you actually fulfilled your week with your purpose. And that's what makes you high value, because she can see that. When you talk to this girl, she can see that she is not the most important thing in your life. When you're pretending to be high value, you've made the girl the most important thing in your life. You see what I'm saying? Because you're pretending to try to get her. Again, like I was saying earlier, you're the insecure dude who is trying to, you're making the game about the girl. You see what I'm saying? So this is what I'm saying, where you becoming that high value guy is you basically actually doing shit to be high value. BDGs, you say get a life, basically. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? Because what point does it make? Hold on 1 second. What point does it make? What's the point of sitting there waiting a week or two to call a chick when you're anticipating that like it's this big, huge deal? Because by doing that, what you're doing is you're making the game about the chick. And you're not making the game about you. Listen, I remember there was times, dude, where I would set up a date maybe because I usually like to set up dates really quick, maybe a few days after I meet them, probably even the next day, or, if sometimes, if that's not feasible, maybe that next week or so, whatever. And there was times where what I would do was I would actually put in my calendar, text so-and-so to confirm date for the next day. Now, the reason why I put that in my calendar is because sometimes I would set up so many dates or I would be doing so much shit that it would slip my mind that I'm actually going to see this chick. You see what I'm saying? So what happened was that my life was so filled, or it's basically still like that right now, but my shit is so filled up with whatever the fuck I'm doing that me hitting her up that next week or not calling her for a while or actually being busy is because I really am being busy. I really have shit to do. I really don't got time to be sitting there, thinking about this girl and crying about this girl and worrying about this girl, because my shit is fulfilled or is filled with a lot of shit to do. You see what I'm saying? So the thing is, a lot of the stuff that you're taught or that we're teaching you, when you hear about game and all this other stuff, when you're beginning, of course, we're going to tell you certain things because you don't know it yet. But there's an underlying reason why that's happening, because one, of course, as far as how female psychology is, there's certain things that you want to know how to do. But at the same time, what it is that, and when you're understanding that the game is about you and you are on your purpose and you're doing your thing, all the things that, of guys would be like, oh, you gotta, not be too available. Well, how do you not be too available? How about you actually have a life so you're not available all the time? Because what you have to understand is that if you are pretending to be not available all the time, you feel what I'm saying? If you're pretending to, be like, oh, I'm just going to pretend I don't got shit going on, that is still you dealing with the girl in a way where you're putting her on that pedestal. Because now you're making what you're doing about her. You understand? Because she is the event. She is the most important thing. This is why you're doing that stuff. Like, anytime where you're doing shit, but you're sort of like pretending, you understand, to do it, you understand, now you're making it too much about her. Now, there's certain situations, so let's say if a girl like flakes on you or something, and let's say she flakes on you and she's like, oh, I can't make it today, can we do like tomorrow or Sunday or whatever, right? So even if you might be available on Sunday, be like, yo, let me check and see what I'm doing first before I get back to you and let you know. You see what I'm saying? Because what you're doing there is you're not making your life just be all about her, but at the same time, you actually should check what the fuck is going on with you, because you should actually have other things going on. You see what I'm saying? So it's not about you faking it, right, for her benefit. It's about you actually having something happening in your life, or things happening in your life, or a purpose, right? So that already coincides with what you would be doing in the game anyway, as far as it comes to you interacting with the girl. You see what I'm saying? And the last point I want to make before I take some calls. Damn, it's hot as shit up in this motherfucker. But it's good. I'm sweating out the cold. This is great. I'm sipping on this goddamn tea. But anyway, the last thing I wanted to say real quick is, guys who are insecure about this shit, right? What they do is they start off the interaction, right? The way they start off the interaction is they're starting it off with the premise that the girl is not into them. They are starting it off from the idea that the girl is not into them. You understand? I'm going to take some calls in a second. Right? So they're starting off with the premise that the girl isn't into them. So basically, what it is that sets up a dynamic of the guy doing things in order to sort of pique her interest. You understand? So he's like, well, this girl, she probably doesn't like me anyway that much, or she probably doesn't see me as high value, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do shit in order for her to see me as that high value guy, in order for her to see me as desirable. You see what I'm saying? Instead of you assuming that this girl actually likes you, you assume she doesn't. So you assume like, oh, I'm just some regular boring guy who she's not gonna like, so I have to assert myself or pretend or position myself to be this other guy that I'm not. So you're pretending to be this guy you're really not, instead of working on yourself to become the guy you really want to be. You see what I'm saying? So how long are you gonna pretend? Because I remember I had this dude, damn, I forgot who it was I was watching. It was this dude's video. He was like, he's like, don't fake it till you make it. He said, feel it until it becomes real. You see what I'm saying? So a lot of times what you guys need to do really, to actually really step up your game and to really get a hold on this, is that you have to be able to interact with women from the premise of making the game about you. You see what I'm saying? So you say, oh, look, I'm busy doing all of this shit. So when I'm dealing with chicks, I'm fitting them into my schedule. Right? I'm not, if a chick hits me up and or I hit up a chick and I want to see her, I'm going to try to set a date that fits my schedule because my shit is busy. Now, if she can't fit in that schedule, I'm going to fucking keep it moving to the next girl. You understand? I'm not going to be, like hitting her up and then waiting a few days and then hitting her back up later and then waiting for her to get back to me all this time and then like all this back and forth bullshit. No. You understand? Another thing that guys got to understand about the game is a lot of it has to do with momentum. BGD said the game is way too hard. Nah, it's not. See, this is what I'm saying. It's not hard. It's only hard when you are making it about the chick. If you basically understand that the game is about you, it's not hard, because if you say this, look, this is what you say. You say, this is how I am, and I do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right? Now, based off A, B, C, D, E, F, G, how do I get from point A to point B to get this girl, right? So the thing is, you have certain things you should know about female nature, which is why you study the game, right? And then what you do is you say, okay, how do I assert myself in this situation based off of what I'm trying to do? So, for example, if you are trying to set up a date with a chick, right? And you are like, well, I'm doing my thing, I'm on my purpose, I'm making shit happen. And, I don't want to have to wait, 3 or 4 weeks to see a damn girl. You understand what I'm saying? So you're like, I don't want to wait 3 or 4 weeks to see no chick. So this is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set dates up with chicks to see them 2 or 3 days at least after I get their number or meet them online or whatever. Now, the chicks who are down with it, I'm going to fuck with them. The chicks who aren't down with it, I'm not going to fuck with them. I'm going to charge them to the game. The chicks who are sort of wishy-washy with it, I let them make a decision quickly, and if they don't decide what I'm trying to do, I kick them to the curb, and if they do decide what I'm trying to do, I fuck with them. It's that simple. You see what I'm saying? But see, a lot of times when you guys are sort of like going around the shit and changing your whole life and schedule and things for women, that's when you're fucking up. I remember I had a friend I used to work with where he was busy, had a lot of shit going on, and then there was this one chick he was feeling, and he ended up like canceling like 2 or 3 clients that he was supposed to fuck with. Like he canceled actually getting money to go see this chick, and this chick flaked on him. You see what I'm saying? So he rearranged his fucking life for the girl, and then she fucking flaked on a nigga. You see what I'm saying? So, it's crazy shit out there, man. And this is why I'm telling you guys, man, you got to understand that the motherfucking game is about you. It's about you finding women to follow your program, period. You understand? And you becoming that high value guy by actually putting work into the game. Because just like I said, if you were sick, would you want to go to an actual doctor or a guy pretending to be the doctor? The reason why you would want to go to the guy who's the actual doctor, because the guy who's actually a doctor put in time in the game to understand his craft in order to give you a beneficial experience that you would actually want to actually engage in. And then you'll get more patients, more customers, more clients because you actually know what the fuck you're doing. Versus the doctor who's a fake doctor who puts up a fake fucking office or somewhere. And how long is it going to take for the people to realize that this guy is on some bullshit? How long is it going to take before he has no clients or patients or anything? You see what I'm saying? So, it's real shit, man. It's real shit. That doctor actually cultivated his skills to become that guy. Are you cultivating your skills to become the guy that women find attractive? Or are you just pretending? That's what I'm saying. But listen, let me get some calls. Hold on. Number 646-481-3901. You guys can call in if you want. All right, let me see who this is. Yo, what's going on?
Yo, what up, Locario? What's going on, man?
I'm chilling. What's going on with you, bro?
Man, I'm glad I caught your show again tonight, man, on one of my off nights. It's crazy. Like, you be on my off nights, I'll be like, man, it's just in time. I wanted to call in, man, to give a quick little testimonial since you were talking about women and the interactions with them and stuff like that.
Right.
And, dealing with them and their personalities. Okay, like yesterday, right? I'm out there always hollering at them all the time on a steady pace. So I'm going to tell the guys this so they can kind of get something from it. Because it's going to kind of coincide with what you were talking about.
Right.
I was in traffic, right, because I holler at chicks in traffic, too.
Mm-hmm.
So I had this chick, I said something to her through the window or whatever it was. So she's smiling back and forth with me. And she like, all right, trail her around here.
Right.
So I trailed her around like we pulled up on the side of a street. She actually stopped what she was doing and everything, waited on me and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I gave her my number. We chopped it up, and I went back to my car and I took off.
Mm-hmm.
I called her phone real quick, said a couple of flirtatious things, told her, I was like, I'll tell you what, we're going to continue this later on tonight.
Right.
So I called her later on that night. How about, guess what? She didn't pick up the phone.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason I'm telling the guys this is because, again, luckily I hollered at other women that day before I even met her.
Mm-hmm.
So not only was I not focused on her, but also from listening to Locario and also from life experiences, the 70-some women I slept with, whatever you might want to call it, I was able to look at that situation instead of getting mad at women and flipping out.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to look at it from a standpoint and say, okay, I understand their nature now. Women are creatures of the moment because somebody else just starting out will look at that situation and be like, man, that don't make no sense.
Right.
I was in my car. I was in my lane. Why would she follow me or why would she have me follow her on another street and take time out of her day to actually pull over,
right,
knowing that she's not going to deal with me later on?
Mm-hmm.
And it could have been possibly that she wanted to from the way she was interacting. But again, they go through so much with their hormones. Stuff happen throughout their day. They're not like us. Like, I knew I wanted to smash her. She might have wanted to do it at that moment. But when she got away, thought about, man, she probably got a boyfriend or whatever else going on.
Right.
She probably just, changed her mind. So me
Right.
understanding women helped me to know that versus me being mad and being lost about the situation. So I was able to quickly delete her number, charge her to the game, and I had an understanding of what was going on. So what you going to say about Little Corio?
Right. And no, I was going to say, too, like, you're absolutely right. And on top of that, you never know because she could hit you up later. You feel what I'm saying? And she could be like,
exactly.
Yo, what's good? You know what I'm saying? Because if she actually wants to holler, she's going to holler. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing
exactly.
is that you can't really, I think a lot of guys, they, like you said, they take the shit too personal. They don't understand that, women are a certain way. You feel what I'm saying? And they're going to act a certain way. They're going to respond to you a certain way. Right. And the thing is that you just got to understand that that's part of the game. You got to understand, okay, well, this is what it is. And then you move on to the next thing. Because like you said, if you get yourself all worked up and upset about this shit and all pissed off and, oh, how come I didn't get her and blah, 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 why she did this and why she did that and all this other stuff, what it's really doing is you're getting yourself worked up over nothing. It's almost like you might as well get upset that, there's oxygen in the air. You might as well get upset that it rains on, a Sunday. You might as well get upset the sun rises and you know what I mean? Like, it's part of the shit. You feel what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah, exactly.
right,
Just like they may get upset with us, and they try to figure out why is it in our nature to want to create more than one woman.
exactly,
They can't fully understand that because they wasn't created by the creator
mm-hmm.
to do what we do.
Right,
So
right,
they can't never they can hear it, they can try to get an understanding of it, but they can't fully understand it.
mm-hmm.
Just like some things that they do because they are emotional creatures and they like spur of the moment with BS that they do.
Right.
We using our logical brain and we're saying, well, damn, they just don't make no sense. Because I wonder because they don't make no sense at all.
Right,
They don't make no sense, but they're not thinking in some cases when they do stuff. They just act on the moment. They go with whatever they feel, and it goes back into, again, when you were telling the guys about the looks and stuff like that. You know, they going on how they feel. Now, if they actually take time out their day to actually listen to what you're saying, then there's a chance you might have an opportunity to make her feel some type of way.
Right.
You know, based on how you're interacting with her. So that's what I was pretty much going to say about a lot of that, man. So I see you was talking on something tonight, and it was kind of like right up my alley, and that just happened. So I said I wanted to come in and share a testimonial, you know, with the guys about that, you know, just in case any other guys can call in and wonder, like, man, why this chick flakes? You were just smiling at me 5 minutes ago. Like,
it's funny,
you know,
man.
The quicker y'all understand that they're just not like us, the better off y'all gonna be. Because I have a certain way of dealing with women now that I just understand, like, a lot of stuff that they do is not gonna make no sense. So I'm not mad at them for it. I don't fault them for it. I just look at their behavior. I give them a grade based on whether I'm willing to deal with it or not, and I tell them what I'm about, and I take it from there. You know what I'm saying? And I leave it alone. Nothing they can do can upset me at this point or throw me off my game or none of that, because I know how to deal with them. Just pay them no mind. And when they turn their back, holler at 20 more people behind them, and leave it at that. And don't take their ass serious either until they talk about what you want to hear. Exactly. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Real shit, bro. I appreciate the call, man. Appreciate it, bro.
All right, man.
All right, peace. Yeah, real shit, man. He's talking real fucking shit, B. Man, because dudes, y'all be taking this shit too personally. You can't do that, man. You cannot do that because there's so many reasons as to why women do what they do. You understand? You just gotta understand that shit. Yeah, what's going on? Who's this? Yo. Hello. All right. Going once, going twice. Nope. All right. So you guys got to speak up when you call into this spot, man. But anyway, let me see if this is somebody else. Yo, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Mr. Locario?
I'm chilling. Who's this? What's going on? What's your name?
This is Willie Wells, man, from Chicago.
All right. What's going on with you, bro?
Hey, man, you know what? I'll be honest with you, man. I'm having like trouble, man, because you know, I got like approach anxiety, man, and it's bad, man. I mean, you know, I can really only approach when I'm drunk or high or something, man, and I can't, you know, I can't drink anymore.
Right.
And it's just like, when I try it, I mean, I go out, like you said, go out a couple days a week and try to talk to women and all that. You know, I do it sometimes, and, you know, I get a few good responses here and there, but you know, you got a lot of, I mean, you know, you get a lot of women who ignore you and all that kind of stuff. And then you get, I mean, I haven't gotten any, but, you know, in my lifetime, man, you know, I've come across, like, just women who are just mean, man, and
oh, yeah, that's going to happen, but this is the thing, too, though. This is the thing, too, real quick, is that a lot of the approach anxiety that guys have basically comes from worrying too much about the outcome. You understand what I'm saying? And also worrying too much about how you gonna look when you're approaching a girl. That's the big thing too. Where because when you approach a girl in the street or you're at a bar, you're at a club, whatever, you don't want to look like you're getting dissed or clowned or ignored. You understand what I'm saying? But the thing is, you have to be able to push through that and not care about none of that shit, and just approach and say what you gotta say. Because the thing is this: if you don't approach, you already know what's going to happen. You're not going to holler at her. You're not going to get her. You feel what I'm saying? Period. Like, if you don't, it's not going to happen. But if you approach her, there's a chance you could get her. So it's really, the approaching is actually just the hardest part of the approach of the approaching the chicks and making shit happen is actually going up to them, and the actual approach, basically, I should say. Like, when you get in front of them and you start talking, everything else sort of flows a little bit more naturally, but it's based off of how you or how still you are when you're actually talking to the girl. Because I'm sure sometimes you go up to a girl and you try to talk to her, and then she's maybe ignoring you, or she's acting kind of stink, and then it gets you upset or it throws you off, right?
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is, you have to be able to approach girls and practice not being thrown off by what she's saying and what she's doing. You understand? And also what I would say too is you have to sort of embrace that rejection, or embrace that type of energy. I don't mean, and when I say embrace, I don't mean you have to like it. I'm saying that you embrace it, and what I mean is you sort of accept it. Meaning that when you go up to a girl and let's say you start talking to her, and let's say she's ignoring you, right? What you got to do is that you have to make all these interactions that you're having with women positive for you, meaning that you don't make any of her reactions towards you negative. And also, the more you talk to girls, the more that you get used to these type of situations. A lot of times you just could play around and have fun with it. So, for example, there was times where I would go up to a girl, like because I live in New York City, so I'll go in a train and I see a chick, and I walk up to her and I'll be like, "Yo, what's up? How you doing?" or whatever, and then she'll not say nothing to me, and she'll just sort of look at me, or she'll try to ignore me. And I'll be like, "Oh, that's cool. I understand you never really talk to guys as cute as me. I understand all that." And then so sometimes she'll laugh at that. You know what I mean? And then I'll be like, "Oh, see, I knew you had some sort of personality. What's your name?" And then we start talking. So instead of me just sort of like feeling bad about it, or instead of like getting angry at her, or cursing her out or whatever, I'm using the situation to my advantage to keep it positive. Because even if I don't say anything and I walk away, you understand? I'm still gonna walk away, still feeling good about myself, and still being okay with the situation. You see what I mean? But the thing is, you have to be able to practice that, because if you don't practice it, it's gonna automatically in a lot of cases get you down, because this is what you've been used to feeling when these things happen. So it's almost like you're training your mind and your body to get used to those type of interactions when you talk to the girl. And also you're getting your mind and body used to approaching without caring about the outcome, because those are the hardest parts to do, is actually approaching and then being okay with a girl sort of coming at you mean or whatever it is like that. Now, if you approach a girl and she's actually nice to you and she's talking to you, then that's the easy part. But the hardest part is to first approach, and then also be able to take when a chick is being mean. And also you need to learn how to take when a chick is being sarcastic, or when a chick is trying to flirt with you but also like tease you and give you a hard time with it. So it all of that comes with practice. You see what I'm saying? And then so it's and a lot of times what you want to do is that what's going to happen is, the more you approach girls and the more you talk to girls, you're going to start to see patterns. Meaning you're going to start to see them say the same shit over and over and over again. "I got a boyfriend. I'm not interested." They're going to ignore you. They might be mean to you by saying something dumb, whatever it is. But you're going to see like the same 5, 6, 7 type of things that's going to happen. So if you know that, okay, wow, like a lot of times when I've been going up to these girls, they've been ignoring me. You understand what I'm saying? You got a line to come back. So that's how I came up with that line of saying, "Oh, I know you haven't talked to a guy as sexy as me before, so I understand why you're scared to talk to me." And like stuff like that. Because once I come back with that, a lot of times the girls switch up their whole demeanor. And they only switched it up because I switched it up for them. I switched up the energy. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of times when they ignore guys, some of them just walk away, or some of them might have a little attitude or whatever, and it's just the whole situation goes to shit. But if you can do that, and she is responsive to that, then you keep going. If not, you just keep moving. But if you keep talking, you're gonna see the patterns. You're gonna see girls say the same shit. They might say some shit like for example, I had a friend, and I thought this was like really cool, where he was talking to this girl, and he said to her, yo, we should get together, blah blah blah. And she was like, oh, I'm not. She was like, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not really. You're not really my type or whatever. She said some shit like that. So he said to her, he looked at her, he said, you know what? I like your honesty. I'm gonna be honest with you too. You're not really my type, but that's not gonna. I think we should still get together and have sex though. You understand? So like he basically hit her back with that. You understand? Because she's in this, so she's like, oh my god. So she starts laughing and shit or whatever. But the thing is that it's you just being comfortable with those situations, because when you do that, the girls look at you differently. They're like, oh, this guy, he's clever, he's interesting. Like, what else does he have to say? And that becomes the thing that makes the girl want to, continue to talk to you. You see what I mean? But again, like that comes with practice. I always say that it's almost like if you were, when you go to a comedy club, when a comedian is making fun of somebody who's heckling in the audience. That comes from practice of being a comedian, comes with practice of telling jokes, comes with practice of doing that stuff. So I'm not saying you got to be a comedian. I'm just using that as an example of a guy knowing how to come back quick with something to say. You see what I mean? Same thing I always say with rappers. A rapper, he's skilled in rhyming, so when he can freestyle, he can just come up with shit to say on the spot. So you have to practice talking to women, talking, approaching, so that if one, you get rid of your approach anxiety, and two, you have shit to come back with to say to chicks. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So,
I see.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Hey, Locario, let me ask you one more. Let me ask you another question.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I got the answer kind of when I thought about it, but I'm gonna ask you. Sometimes I say I speak and I say hi to a woman, and she might smile or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I walk a little bit. I'm in the process of walking, and I keep walking, and I'm like, I should go back, but I don't, because I'm like, I look kind of silly coming back.
Mm-hmm.
But I shouldn't even worry about that though. I'm thinking, just go back.
Yeah.
Right?
If you walk past the girl and you want to holler at her, yeah, you can turn around and walk back and say something to her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because sometimes when you're walking towards a girl and she's walking towards you and y'all pass each other, a lot of times it goes by so quick that it's just quick, so you don't really have enough time. You just sort of get in your thoughts again. You probably don't even realize that you think she's hot till she gets closer to you. You know what I mean? So that can happen too, and you just turn around and you just walk with her in the direction she's walking, have that conversation, and you can see what's popping. Sometimes even when you see a girl walking towards you, you could stop her before she gets past you. You could stop right in front of her and be like, hey, hold on for a second. What's up? How you doing? What's your name? Blah, 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 blah. All that other shit. And a lot of times, truthfully, what it is that sometimes girls are going to stop and to talk to you and be open to you because they're attracted to you physically. Sometimes they'll stop because of how you approach them and what you're saying and and the things you're talking about, because they're just the type of girls that will stop. Like some girls, it's almost like not even necessarily the girls, but some people, if you just stop them to talk, they will stop and talk to you to see what you have to say, period. It doesn't matter if it's a guy, girl, whatever. So you're going to run into some girls who are going to be like that. And then if you do run into those girls, it's good because they're actually they're providing that situation, or they're engaging in that situation to where you can actually do something with it. You see what I'm saying? Because a chick, sometimes she might not even necessarily be attracted to you. You stop her to talk, she'll stop and see what you're talking about, and then based off of how you're coming at her, she'd be like, you know what? Yeah, here's my number. Take my number, whatever. You understand what I'm saying? And that comes with you actually preparing to do that and being ready and okay to make it happen when you need to make it happen. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's just you can just do it like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey man, you're a prize, man. I give you that, brother.
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, man.
Thing is, what you say, I'm gonna say this real quick and get off the phone and let other people talk. But what you say about looks, when I was younger, I mean, I really didn't think I was like a real good looking guy, but it was like I was listening to the negative, because
Right.
I used to make this statement. It's some girls and women, they make it seem like I'm the most handsome dude in the world, but some women make me feel like I'm the ugliest motherfucker in the world.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's how it's gonna be. That's how it's gonna be for. And the funny part is that's how it's gonna be for almost every dude. No matter how good looking he thinks he is or how ugly he thinks he is, there's gonna be certain girls who's gonna be into your look, and there's gonna be certain girls who are not into your look because when people look at people objectively, like even I put out a video the other day where I had a link to this guy, and all of you guys should check out his videos. A dude named James Tusk. He's from London. There's some white boy, looks like almost like Brad Pitt type of dude, and he has videos where he shows himself going up to girls and they're rejecting him. You feel what I'm saying? And you would think like girls would be like, oh, he's so hot and he looks good, and like they would just be easy for him. But dude is showing like, yo, it's not just all about looks. He was going up to these girls was not really giving him the time of day. He was trying to holler at them, and of course he has videos where girls are stopping, but he has like I think 2 or 3 videos of compilations of him getting rejected. You see what I'm saying? And so that's the thing that dudes really need to understand and see. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So
All right, brother. Hey man, it's good talking to you though.
All right, bro. Appreciate it, man.
All right,
man.
later.
Take care. Yeah, so what's good? What's popping in the chat room, man? I thought I saw people was talking about. I need some moderators in here. Is people trolling? Is that what's going on? What's popping up in the spots? Moving in silence. You said I need some moderators. How do I make a person a moderator? I'm gonna try to add a moderator. Hold on. Let me try to make moving in silence a moderator.
Hello.
Hold on. What's poppin'? Who's calling?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? You can't hear me?
Dude,
you sound
David
like
Bowie.
You sound like
white man. I can get Chinese girls and you Negroes can't.
You sound.
Oh.
Wait.
Little China girl.
Oh man, we got a troll up in here. This is great. So what's going on with you, bro? What's going on with your troll ass? This dude talking about calling up, sounding like fucking James Bond and shit. Oh man, these fucking cornballs, man. Jesus, it's fucking hilarious. Oh man. But anyway, so what's going on in the chat room, people? What's going on in the chat room? Let me see who else is this calling. Yo, what's poppin'? Who's this?
Yo, this is Mr. Locario.
Yeah, what up? It's me. What's going on? Who's this?
Yo, this is Emilio from Pittsburgh.
What's going on with you, bro?
What's up? Yo, I talked to you before. I just had a question, man. Like, what do you think about the meetup groups and what is it called? The speed dating. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, what do you think about those things?
Well, like speed dating meetup groups and stuff like that?
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I haven't really gone to too many speed dating joints. I mean, it's cool because, what's cool about it is that they're all there to meet people. You understand? So the chicks are there to fucking meet dudes and shit. But from what I've seen, some of them it's like weird because you go there, you talk to the girl real quick, and then you have to write like their number or name or whatever and put it in some box, and then it's just some weird shit. So, it's cool to talk to girls there. You know what I mean? But if you see any chicks that you really feeling, and it's a real actual speed dating joint, it's better to really just go direct and let them know, be like, yo, listen, we ain't got much time to talk, but here's my card, holla at me. You understand what I'm saying? And then just do it that way.
Yeah. So you've been to a few speed dating events, right?
Yeah, I've been to a few of them, but not too much. Like I've been to more actual dating meetups where people just meet up, and then you're in a venue and there's a lot of people and there's like name tags and shit. Sometimes and people come up to each other and have conversations and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
What do you get those on that group, that app, the Meetup?
Yeah, meetup.com. Yeah,
because I'm looking for the groups on there. Like I seen some speed dating events,
right.
and I was like, I don't know about these speed dating events. But then I saw other groups, but I was like, which ones are like the good ones? Like which ones would you recommend checking out and going?
Right. Well, if you when you go on Meetup, you look up like you got to type in singles, like singles events and singles or whatever, and a lot of different groups will pop up. And then what you do is that you join all of those groups. Like you register to join all those groups. Is on that site. I think you could just like click on their group and fill out your name or whatever, or say add me to the group or whatever. And so as they add you, when they have the events, you'll get either email, you know what I'm saying, or if you go back on the site, you could just see the list because it'll say my meetup groups, and then you see which ones actually have the events, because they do them shits like every week is at least something's going on, you know what I mean? And I forgot the exact names of some of them, but I'll be at a few of those joints and shit. And then the thing is that you just got to see which ones are popping off, you know what I mean? And some of them, they'll have a few decent chicks. You understand what I'm saying? Like a lot of them that I went to, it would be like, let's say if you go to and it depends on the ones you go to. Like if you go to a really good one, let's say you go to a really good one and there's like maybe 200 chicks there. You understand what I'm saying? And out of the 200, you might find like at least 70 or 80 chicks that's good. You know what I'm saying? But
at the event?
Yeah, at the events. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it all depends on what events you go to. Because some events are smaller than others. So some events you might go to, and it's going to be maybe like, 40 chicks there. Some events you're going to go to is going to be 200 chicks there. You know what I mean? But you just got to sort of sift through the different events. And in some certain events, once you know the organizers, and you know that they throw these types of parties, because certain organizers throw better events than others. So you might go to an event that's like 200-300 chicks, and there's a lot of cute chicks there. What I would suggest is to meet the person who like asks around and says who's throwing this event, or meet the person that's throwing it, and like get to know that person. You feel what I'm saying? Because then you know about all the other like hot joints.
So you definitely will recommend those more than like the speed dating events?
Yeah, definitely. I would definitely recommend just regular singles events where you just come and chill, versus the actual like speed dating event. You feel what I'm saying? Because
and those are the groups you're talking about,
right?
Meetup, like that you join, right?
Right. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so because because I'm in LA and I've seen a bunch of speed dating events,
right?
And I was like, but it costs like $40 or $50,
right?
And I was like, man, do I really want to spend this? And then you go there and it's like all fat chicks,
right?
And I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to spend $50, like,
right?
And it's not guaranteed, you know, like to meet people.
Right.
So,
and the
like,
thing
I didn't know which one to do.
Right. So, I would say definitely avoid the speed dating ones. Like, I mean, not necessarily say you got to avoid them, but I would say the best course of action is just the actual single events that aren't speed dating ones. You feel what I'm saying? Those are way better. You feel what I'm saying?
And those ones are usually free on there, or sometimes I think like you have to pay, like sometimes there's like a fee, which is okay, like it's like $4 or something a month or a yearly or something, like something great, something real cheap. Okay, all right, so just avoid those speeding dates. What's called speed dating things all together, right?
Right, and just go to the straight regular joints.
All right.
All right.
Good luck, man. Good luck. Yeah, I appreciate it.
All right, man.
All right.
Peace. I'll holler at you. Yeah, man. Don't sleep on that meetup shit, man. Don't sleep on that meetup.com shit, man. Could meet a lot of chicks on there, and the cool part about those is the chicks are actually there to meet motherfuckers. You feel what I'm saying? They are there to meet people. Alright, hold on. Yo, what's poppin'? Who's this?
Yo, what's good? It's Donovan from Cincinnati, a.k.a. Honest Introspection. How you doing, Mr. Locario?
I'm chilling. What's going on with you?
Not much. I just wanted to comment on the fuckery that's going on in this nation real quick, and what you think about it in relate to the game, basically.
Yeah.
Because I've seen a lot of niggas been going down for this sexual harassment shit.
Right.
And as you know, I was that one nigga that got fired for quote unquote sexual harassment at my job.
Oh damn, that's fucked up.
I called in like a few weeks ago or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, for hollering at these chicks. But yeah, that was an L on my part. But I just want to know, like, in terms of actually going out there and doing what you do, how does that like kind of affect like what we're trying to do? Like, cause what a guy like me is just trying to like take it to a whole nother level. And I know like on the public consciousness, this shit is just going to be like on the forefront. And I just want to know, like, how do I position myself? Because, you know, like I said before, I think I called it last week. Like, I don't really have a problem with doing all the game shit, but like in the back of my mind, like that shit is still there because like I know he did get fired, and it's kind of like fucking with me a little bit.
Right.
But at the same time. At the same time, like
and that's the
what I'm trying to do.
Right. So that's the funny thing because a lot of cats is actually asking me about this shit. About they was like, oh, you know, they got all the Me Too shit and all the sexual harassment shit, and you know, oh, how's that gonna play out? Because you know, like they're saying girls are acting like, you know, they're getting harassed in the streets by dudes trying to holler and all this other stuff. And it was funny because I was actually watching this dude from RSD's video, and he put it perfectly. He said,
Jesse,
yeah, you saw that, right? He said the only thing weirder than picking up chicks is not knowing how to pick up chicks. You understand? So he said something like that. You feel what I mean? And I absolutely agree with that shit. And so all it really is the motherfuckers who are actually out there doing some goofy shit that's gonna make shit hot for them. You feel what I'm saying? And this is even actually this is good for the game, because what it is showing you that how important the game actually is. You see what I'm saying? Because most of these motherfuckers wouldn't be in the situations that they were in if they actually applied game and knew what the game was about and understand how to interact with women. Because most of the you don't really hear too much about guys who actually are fucking around with a whole bunch of chicks. You don't hear too much about
like
those
Leonardo?
dudes. Say it again?
Leonardo DiCaprio?
I mean, I don't really know exactly the ins and outs of what he's doing, but he probably knows the game. He probably knows how to fuck with chicks. You understand what I'm saying? Like, there's certain dudes who know what they're doing, and there's certain guys who are clueless, and those clueless guys are the guys who did all that goofy, weird shit, which created that situation where the chicks was like, what the fuck? You feel what I'm saying? Because all those girls, all those other women those women who are accusing these guys of all of this shit, trust and believe those women have been with other men. But they're accusing certain guys. You feel what I'm saying? Or they're saying things about certain guys or whatever it is like that, because they know, okay, well, these guys that know they were on some bullshit, while they were ended up with some other dudes who knew what the fuck they were doing. This really all it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
right.
But
I feel like it's super simple. Like, but like it's I mean, like I'm like probably like the only nigga in the street that's got, you know, actually been on the front lines of this shit.
Right, but also too, you gotta remember, you was fucking with a chick at your job, right?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. See, you're not supposed to be really fucking with chicks like that at your job. Because even in my book, How to Have Sex with Two Women a Day, I have a whole chapter on how to get with chicks at your job. But the actual in the chapter, I specifically tell you not to fuck with them at the job. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I tell you how to do it. This is what I'm trying to, you know what I'm saying? So there's different ways that you make this shit happen so that you don't put yourself in those situations. Now, things are never going to be 100%. You feel what I'm saying? Because you could meet a chick who's just fucking retarded, and she's just like, oh, well, this happened and that happened, and nothing really fucking happened. You understand what I'm saying? But you have a lot of women who have been in these situations with dudes who don't know the game, who are, you know, fucking around, doing all this goofy shit, like Louis C.K. jerking off in front of the chick. They had all these other stories of these guys like groping the girls and, you know, getting naked in front of them and doing a whole bunch of like weird stuff. So they don't know how to sexually escalate. They don't know how to create sexual tension. They don't know how to flirt. They don't know how to read the signs of a woman who's interested in them or a woman who's not. You feel what I'm saying? And also too, a lot of times, a lot of their situations happen in a business setting. You feel what I'm saying? To where they didn't know how to read a chick in that setting to see if she's actually trying to fuck with them or not. You feel what I'm saying? So you know.
Right.
So yeah, so you ain't got to worry about none of that shit as long as you know, as long as you're not a molester or some crazy, type of dude. Like you ain't got to really worry too much about that shit.
No. See, it's not even that. It's just like something that's in the back of my mind.
Right.
It's not something that really stops me from going in. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to, just clarify that a little bit because a nigga from NBC, Good Morning America, got accused of fired today for that shit too. Like nobody is safe.
Oh yeah. I heard about that shit. That's just crazy. I was like, they got Charlie Rose. They had I heard something about what's the other nigga from what's the guy from America? Is it not America's Got Talent? American Idol? No, not American Idol. What's the Ryan Seacrest? He be doing a whole bunch of that bullshit. They got Ryan
Seacrest too.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest. Google that shit. He got accused of.
This nigga is the most handsome nigga on. Why does he have to?
He said this nigga.
What the fuck?
Pause. Y'all be sounding mad moist. Oh man, that's hilarious. That's hilarious.
I actually had another question for you.
Go ahead.
So say like you're not 100% on your shit, and the things like when you're like 100% on your game, like your game is on just like a whole nother level, like and I noticed like it wasn't even about like necessarily the game, it was about like my other lifestyles. Like I was doing other things, but like after I got fired or whatever, I was just like I had to stop and just like recalculate where I was going. So things kind of fell off a little bit, like in my personal life, not necessarily in the game.
Right.
So I just wanted to know, like when you weren't like 100% on top of your shit, how did you continue to keep that mindset of like I'm that nigga no matter what? Because I was listening to your other videos, and I agree 100%. It's about it starts with you and just like authentic being rather than external things. But at the same time, like when you're doing those external things, there's a certain it give you a boost in a way.
Well, yeah, that's you know what it is. You know what it is really this. It's like what happened with me. I'll tell you, with me is that, and when I realized certain things was. I started to listen to a lot of different things about philosophy and life and researched a lot of stuff and all this other stuff. So it's like something in me, I fucking woke up and I was like, yo, a lot of this shit is bullshit. And what I mean is a lot of this, like, I don't know if you've seen that shit with Jim Carrey, where he was on the red carpet and he was saying all that shit and people thought he was crazy. And all that.
Yeah.
You saw that?
Talking about.
Yeah, Jim Carrey was talking real shit, but most people don't understand what the fuck he's talking about. Because what he was saying, he was like, none of this means anything. You understand what I'm saying? All of this shit is meaningless. Meaning, I'll give you an example. Like, me being Mr. Locario is just like, it's like it's something that I'm putting on to a certain extent. Like it's an ego. It's a character. You understand what I'm saying? Like before I used to rap and my rap name was Trends. You feel what I'm saying? And my birth name is Hashim. So it don't really matter. It's just I could call myself whatever the fuck I want and do all these things, but it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So when you're upset about, oh man, I don't got as much money as I want, the reason why you're upset is because there's an attachment you have to what that money means to you in your ego. So you think, well, I'm not cool enough because I don't have enough money, or I'm not, I don't got enough swag because I don't got enough money. I'm not gonna get these girls aren't gonna like me enough because I don't have enough money. Or you're in a certain position in your job. Oh damn, I used to be the manager and now I got fired. So now who am I? What am I about? Who's gonna like me now? So everything that you're feeling down and out about usually is because you're attached to what that feeling was about when it comes to your ego, what it means to who you are. So, for example, if somebody says, if somebody says, okay, well, Mr. Locario, your shit is bullshit, and you know, I'm not listening to anything you say, and you suck. You understand what I'm saying? My ego is gonna be like, what? Like, what the fuck you mean? And blah 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 blah, and I'm gonna feel a certain way about that. You see what I'm saying? But the thing is that you gotta understand that don't mean shit if anybody, like, he has his opinion, she has her opinion, somebody thinks I'm cool, somebody doesn't think I'm cool. It don't matter. You understand what I'm saying? And so a lot of times what you have to understand is that all this stuff that you're worried about, you have to realize at the end of the day that the shit doesn't really matter. And so there was a dude named Alan Watts I was listening to, and he said something that fucking I thought was genius. He basically said that a skilled person lives on 2 levels. So what that means is, for example, I'll use myself as an example. One level is me living in this world, being Mr. Locario, doing these videos, talking about the game, making money doing this, fucking doing whatever. You understand? Like, I'm paying bills, I'm eating food, I'm watching movies, I'm, talking to girls. That's what I'm doing on one level, right? Now, on another level, I realize that it doesn't fucking all this shit don't matter because I'm gonna die one day. You feel what I'm saying? Like, I can die tomorrow. So imagine I'm pissed off about something. I'm so pissed off today about some shit, or I'm pissed off at some girl or my wife, or not having enough money. Imagine all day today you were so upset because you don't have as much money as you had last year, and you're just pissed off and you just kept thinking about that all day, and then tomorrow you died. You feel what I'm saying? Does it really matter what you were pissed off about today if tomorrow you die? No. Who cares? You see what I'm saying? That's what Jim Carrey was saying when he was saying it don't really mean shit, because all this worldly stuff, it can be gone like that. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of time, this is what I apply to when I apply to the game, and I'm talking about being confident, and I'm talking about understanding who you are and all this other stuff. It's on one level you're like, yo, I'm the shit, and on another level you're like, who the fuck cares?
But it don't matter.
Yeah. Exactly. So
okay. Can I be 100% honest with you? When it comes to the game, I kind of, there was a certain point, because I used to listen to a lot of Corey Wayne and stuff like that, but it came to a certain point where once you get a certain point into the game, your shift, and this is why I love the game and I love women, because what they ultimately brought me to, it was like a gateway into another reality. Right. Like, you go in trying to get pussy, but then you realize that it's like something totally beyond that.
Oh yeah, exactly. Real shit. You talking facts.
What I started doing is I started downloading audiobooks. I listened to The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
Right.
And I started listening to the Seneca and all the shit that you were just talking about. Alan Watts. I listened to his lectures all the fucking time, and it's funny. Like, I listen to a whole lot of game shit, but sometimes I feel like the things that actually help me the most is when I listen to philosophy and do meditation and realize that none of this shit actually matters. Right. Now, this is me trying to spill some games to the guys now, not necessarily a question. Is what really helped me was just kind of realizing that it's all about just living in a moment, because there's ultimately nothing that matters, because one day it's all going to be gone anyway. So the most you can do is just enjoy it. Right. And I realized once I get into that mind space, my game is just, it's like on a whole nother level, because it's not even like I'm attached to what I'm doing in that moment. It's just that it's just the joy of the fact that I'm actually doing it. Right. Actually getting to interact with another human being who happens to be a female, and it just brings me to a whole nother state, and that's why I always try to like get my friends in the game and shit, because like ultimately it's just a gateway into a whole nother plane of thinking, and a whole nother realm of consciousness ultimately.
Yeah, because it's real shit, because like you saying, like, yo, it's only, and this is what I try to teach guys to apply to the game, because like you said, if you're in the moment, because I did a video about this the other day, if you're in the moment and you see a girl you want to approach and talk to, and if you scared to talk to her because you think she's gonna reject you, then you're not really in the moment because you're thinking about something that's gonna happen later. So all you do is just approach her interact with her, talk to her, and see what could happen. So you can enjoy that moment that you're doing that shit. So it's like, why are you worrying about later on of what she's going to say or what she's going to do or do to get her number? Then he's worried about if she's going to return his call. Then he goes on a date and he's worried about, oh, am I going to have sex with her? Then he has sex with her. He's worried about, oh, does she still like, it's like all this worry for what? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy.
Right, because like if you're not enjoying the moment, like you're actually not living. And that's something Alan Watts really points out, is if you're not actually engaged in what you're doing, like you're not actually living.
Right.
I just want to I want to give you a big shout out because, man, no matter what like type of shit you go through, man, I just want you to know, Miss Locario, like what you do actually helps people.
Yeah,
like,
I appreciate that, man.
It actually has a good effect on my mental health and mental health of all the other niggas that are on this screen.
Appreciate it, bro.
Basically, I just want to let you know, keep doing what you're doing, man, and you inspire me to, cause niggas out here getting rejected 15 times a day, but you still smiling.
Right, exactly, and that's the point. That's the point. That's what dudes gotta understand, because a lot of guys are sitting there scared of doing that because they're like, well, I don't want to get rejected. But getting rejected is part of the whole thing. You have to get rejected because you can't get the other shit without the rejection. There's no guy on earth who's talked to every girl and every girl was like, yes. It's not going to happen. It's impossible. You know what I'm saying? So,
exactly.
So it is what it is. But it's like if you're worried about that and you're not moving, then you're not really living. You see what I'm saying? You're just there, just fucking, being fearful and not making nothing happen. You see what I mean? It's crazy.
That's why I absolutely love the game. Mm-hmm. And before I get off, I've been on here for a minute, but before I get off, I just want to shout out, give some encouragement to the guys. Like, I got fired and shit over hollering at bitches, but it ultimately, like, when you have some bumps in the road in life, it gives you a different perspective.
Right.
It shows you other things about yourself. And as long as you get up and keep going, you realize, once again, that none of this really matters. And it's funny because one day I came home and I had that week I had been contemplating and meditating on death, like that entire week. And one day I came home and randomly there was some stickers at the bottom of my doorstep. There were 3 stickers that said, "You are going to die." Like, what? Randomly. Just random fucking stickers that said,
was this like a one of those like Jehovah's Witness pamphlets or something? Like, what was that?
No. Like, it's literally just like some shit you see on some hipster's laptop.
Right.
Like it's just like yellow and black, and it says, "You're gonna die." 3 words. And I'm like, there's no way this can be a coincidence. So what I did was I took the stickers and I put it all over my room so I can see that every day when I get up.
Right.
To go and do my shit. Like, you're gonna die one day, so just make the most out of what you're gonna do.
Exactly.
But I don't want to hold up your time, Mr. Locario. I appreciate what you do, man.
Appreciate the call, bro, man. Take care, bro. All right.
Take care, man.
Real shit, man. Man, so what we got up in the chat room? We got up in here Jermaine Jones, Altair, Albert Michelson, Ricardo, BGD, Lottery Guru, Jervis, O'Dammy's up in the place, Theo Man. Crazy. But yeah, it's a lot, man. It's a lot of shit, man, that, a lot of deep shit, man. A lot of shit. Alright, let me see who this is. Yo, what's going on? Who's this?
It was good with you. This is Infinite-ism out of Oakland.
What up, bro? What's going on?
Oh, man, I'm doing well, man. How about yourself?
I'm chilling. What's going on with you?
Oh, that's what's up. Now, I had a question for you.
Right.
Because, I do Uber and Lyft full-time out here in the Bay.
Mm-hmm.
And, sometimes, when I'm driving around, when I'm picking up people, sometimes, I'll be picking up women from time to time that be looking cool. They damn sure is fuckable or whatever. And, sometimes when I'm chopping it up with them, they kind of, it's just here and there where, sometimes bitches be kind of choosing. And I know I'm at work, so, of course, they want to just have a good rapport with me until they jump out the car or whatever, so they can sustain their rating as well too, or whatever. But sometimes I'll be like, I don't know. It's just sometimes there's been a few bitches where I'm like, am I, is this bitch really choosing? She's just over here just trying to, have a, just a cool, safe ride and just keep it moving.
Right. Well, I mean, you got to test them out. You got to see. You got to see what they're really doing. You got to see what they're really about, man. This is why I tell guys, man, when you interacting with chicks, you got to put them to the test. You got to start flirting heavy. You got to start getting to the point so that they have no room to play games. You feel what I'm saying? So whatever you trying to figure out, you got to figure it out sooner than later. You see what I mean? I'm always about moving fast with these chicks. You see what I'm saying? Like like figuring out what it is. If she's down, then you keep it going. If she's not, you keep it moving. Like that simple. You know what I'm saying?
Because I do this full time, so I'm not gonna front. Sometimes I be overthinking. Like I'm like, man, I don't know. I ain't trying to harass you. Cause you know how bitches sometimes might feel like you over here harassing them, but I always play it smooth or whatever. I just normally just ask the question, and if they continue on with the convo, of course I'm gonna try to put my bid in. But it's been a few times where, I ask, I'm like, hey, take my number down or whatever. When I felt like, sometimes it'd be. I remember one time it was this cute little bitch, and she came into the car with her little fat partner or whatever. I don't know, fat partner wasn't about shit, but she jumped in the front seat and she left her partner in the back seat. So I'm like, okay, that sign right there. Plus, they can see our little picture on the profile or whatever. So I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, she probably. So I'm, so we were chopping it up. She over here asking me questions, and when I'm driving, she over here just staring me down, looking at my shoes, pants, and everything. So when I'm driving, I'm just chill, laid back, just keeping it cordial or whatever. Then later on, she was kind of flirty or whatever, kind of touching me up or whatever. And I'm like, okay. Right when we was pulling up to a spot, I'm like, I'm just gonna, just take my number down or whatever. And then right when I asked that, her kind of mood kind of changed. She was like, oh, she was like, oh, I got a boyfriend and
see, that's that attention whore stuff. So at least now you're like, okay, she on that attention whore shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because this is the thing I always tell guys, like a lot of you're gonna have. I always say you're gonna have the three types of chicks. You're gonna have the ones that's extremely into you, who's cooperating. The ones that's on the fence, wishy-washy, they feeling you, but they still on that playing game shit. And then the ones who just totally ain't into you. You know what I mean? And the girls who are on that, like, attention whore shit, they're either girls who are on that wishy-washy shit, or they're actually not even into you, but they're pretending because they like the attention. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
I agree with you 100%. The reason why I don't want to go too hard, because, it's just my job. So
right.
Fuck this shit up. My money is everything. But I do have partners who be fucking bitches here and there doing this shit as well.
Right.
So sometimes I'm like, okay, then this is something obvious that they doing, and I'm probably not doing myself. But, like, this weekend, it was, so this bitch got in the car or whatever, by herself and shit like that, and, I was dropping her off at the bar, but right when she got in the car, she was over here just, sparking up a convo and shit like that. So, I'm just over here just keeping it chill. And then she was like, oh, can I get in the front seat? And we was at a red light. I'm like, oh, yeah, come on, jump in the front seat.
Right.
And she jumped in the front seat. And then she was trying to do her makeup, whatever, on the mirror, but at the same time, she was chopping up at me. And when I was driving, she was like, same thing, just staring me up and down. I could tell. And then she was telling me, she was like, oh, I'm going to the bar to meet up with my boyfriend, and I'm kind of late or whatever. She's like, I'm an hour late, but, I don't care about that boyfriend shit. I know bitches still be fucking around and shit like that. But this bitch asked me, she put a lipstick on, and then she asked me, she was like, how do you feel about my lipstick? Does it look cool? And I was like, yeah, like it look cool or whatever. You feel me? And then she was like, and then she asked me to help her put her little dress on the back on.
Oh, wow.
Like zip up. So back in my head, I'm like, man, this bitch got to be choosing. You feel me? But right when she was getting off, she got a call from her boyfriend. And she was like, oh, I'm in the lit car still. I'm pulling up and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, fuck. I was trying to put my bid in, but when we pulled up, she pretty much just got out or whatever.
Now I just bought some business cards, so I can just be like, hey, call me, and just keep it moving. You feel me? But
right. And the thing is, I would say the ones that you like, because this is what you do when they get in the car and you see it's a chick and you strike up a conversation as you riding with her so that you could figure out some things. Because if she got a boyfriend, the most these chicks are gonna do is a lot of times just give you, try to get attention from you. Because just because they got a boyfriend, they still want attention. You see what I mean? So that's the most they're gonna, because when chicks got a boyfriend, what they want to do is they and this is what guys gotta understand. Women get validation through attention. You understand? We get validation through sex. You feel what I'm saying? So a chick's validation is you basically giving her the attention. You see what I'm saying? So this is why, like, if a chick got a boyfriend, a lot of times she's not gonna fuck with you. Like, some girls will fuck with you if they have a boyfriend, but a lot of times they won't, because they're just like, well, I got a boyfriend, but I can at least get the attention from this motherfucker. So this is what I'm saying. If you actually having a conversation with her in the car and you find out, she don't got a boyfriend, then it's like, okay, it's go time. Let me, before she get out the car, I'm gonna hand her this card and be like, yo, holla at me sometime. Let me know when you're free, but hit me up this day or whatever it is. You see what I mean? And so
I hear what you're saying. So ask her questions that's gonna lead to her opening up, so she could be like, yeah, I got a boy, where she could open up and talk about it. If she doesn't. Yeah. Right,
because you could just be like, as she get in the car, y'all talking, you be like, oh, how's your night going, blah, blah, blah. And then you can even ask you can even say, hey, so, you on your way to see your boyfriend or something? And she'd be like, oh, no, I'm going to see, my friends or whatever. And you'd be like, wait a second, a girl as pretty as you don't got a boyfriend? And then that's you still trying to figure out. She's like, she might be like, oh, no, I'm single. Or she'll be like, yeah, I got a boyfriend, but, I'm not going to see him till tomorrow or whatever. But you're at least getting to know that she has the boyfriend or not. And then if she don't, and y'all are still talking and everything seemed cool, you'd be like, yo, be like, look, I don't usually do this, but you know what I'm saying? Kind of cute right there. Here's my card. Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I'm already knowing, because it'd be funny, because it'd be a lot of hurt bitches. It'd be a lot of fat bitches that be choosing the hardest. They be filling up and doing all types of crazy shit. You feel me? Asking questions. And one time, it was funny. I had this one bitch. She was, you would get sucked by probably. You feel me? Worst comes to worst, know. But she had two aunties in the back seat.
Wow.
Or whatever. Old ass aunties too. They probably was 60s and 70s.
Right.
And this bitch was over here filling up on my chest and all types of shit. She was trying to come to the house, and I'm like, yeah, you could come over. What you gonna do with your aunties? She wanted to bring her aunties, to the house or whatever. But it's funny because sometimes I'll be like, man, I don't know if I want to risk my job to figure out how these bitches be thinking, because they so reckless with their minds sometimes. Right. So, I don't know. I just be in a weird dilemma where I'm like, man, should I figure things out, see if these bitches are choosing. Just keep it moving. Just.
Right. Nah, yeah, you just gotta, like, hit them with that card. Make sure they ain't got no boyfriend, because you don't want to be in the middle of that bullshit. And then if they ain't, then just hit them with the card and be like, yo, holla at me, and then see what could go down. You know what I'm saying?
No, I got you. I'm gonna try that out for sure this weekend.
Yeah, man.
Appreciate the advice, man. I'm gonna call back next week, man.
That's what's up. All right, I'll holla at you.
Okay.
Peace. Woo, man. What time is it? I'm gonna do a few more minutes. Cause I gotta go. I need to get some fucking rest. I still feel that when you have that cold where I feel like I have a fever a little bit. Like I still feel fucking, it's crazy. Oh, my dude Blackie Speaks is in the chat room. What's popping? But yeah, man, you guys out there, man, make sure. How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day. The greatest book ever created in the existence of life. You guys need to get this book. Click the link below to get the hardcover, the hard copy. and make sure you guys get the audiobook and the ebook. Okay, we got all of the shit. And the Bad Boy book is going to be out before the end of the year, so you guys can get that joint. You feel me? Yo, what's going on? Who's this?
What's up, Locario? How you doing, boss?
I'm chilling. What's going on with you?
Good. I just been realizing over time I've been getting a little more selective with females because it's like, okay, you only have a finite amount of time on this earth. Yeah, so it's like, damn, who I want to choose to be around. And I know at first, like when I was like 20, 21 and stuff like that, it was like, damn, she just got to look good. But like I got this one cute girl I'm fucking with, but I've been fucking with her for 2 years, but it's always like an inconvenience for me dealing with her because she lives like 30 minutes from me, and then she don't have a car, you see what I'm saying? So I'm always going to her, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then, damn, she ain't got her own spot. She stay with her sister, and even though they split the rent, her sister still don't let her have guys in. So when we hook up and shit, we still hooking up in the back of my car and shit like that. And it's too much of a fucking stress. She cute, but man, it's the same shit. Like I don't see the growth. So it's not even just like what a female thing is about, like your environment. I feel like when the people around you not growing and who you interacting with not growing, like, bro, you gonna become stale in many areas.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
Even like messing with chicks, like, it ain't just about the sex all the time. It's about the mind state. It's about all that shit can affect you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Nah, real talk. Real talk. And sometimes, you might have to charge chicks to the game because, they're not on the same page as you anymore, or you feel like you outgrowing some chicks, you know what I'm saying, or just outgrowing that whole vibe or whatever, and you might need to like move on to something different, you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It's something that you got to figure out, but also too you want to also see the pros and the cons of the situation. Because if you got a good chick, if you got a chick who's cool and who's down or whatever, you don't want to just get rid of her because the grass, ain't greener on the other side. You know what I'm saying? Most of the time, if you got something good. But at the same time, though, if you feel like it's sort of just stale or stagnant, then you got to do what you got to do. You know what I mean? So that's what it is, man.
And I got another point to make. What I was about to say, that whole in the moment thing, which I was talking about. I remember one of the earlier calls was talking about.
Right.
They start talking. Yeah, that in the moment shit is it's just the most powerful shit. Like if everybody can like cultivate that and just, like it's only so much your mind can concentrate on at one time. I feel if you're focused on insecurities. If you're focusing on your environment, who's looking this and all that other, you know what I'm saying, stuff that don't matter, you just stripping your whole life away from what's going on.
Oh yeah, real
and
talk.
I feel like it makes sense that, you know what I'm saying, like, because they're kind of like a reflection of energy. So if you come insecure, like they come insecure. That's why, like, sometimes I'm able to get away with some outlandish comments that I say to females because they like, he was bold enough to say that shit.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it end up working out sometimes because of the energy I'm giving them. People don't realize how much it is about energy.
Real shit. Facts, dude. That's what we trying to. That's what we try. I really, and it's hard to explain because it's not nothing that's necessarily like tangible to an extent where you can be like, oh, look at, but you feel it. It's a feeling. And that feeling translates when you're talking to women. This is why a lot of guys, some guys will be scared and say, oh, but, I'm scared that if I approach a girl in the street, she's going to think I'm a creep or she's going to think I'm harassing her and everything. The only reason she's going to think that is because you might be bringing that energy, that insecure, weird, anxious type of energy to her. And then that's what makes the interaction seem weird. It's not you just approaching a girl. It's the energy you're bringing when you're approaching a girl. Because the energy you bring when you're approaching a girl a lot of times is the thing that gets her attracted to you. It's the thing that makes her want to pay attention to you, that wants to make her give you the number. You feel what I'm saying? And that's what guys got to understand. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And the only way to figure that out, even for it to like take root deeply into your soul, is to like continuously be in the field, like I always say. But like I said, so like Floyd Mayweather, he's 50-0, right? But he wouldn't get 50-0 by sitting outside of the ring.
Exactly.
That motherfucker was in the ring. So every mental weapon, as it relates to boxing, was sharpened. So I was looking at one guy describe what it is like to be in the ring with Floyd. He was saying just like his mental, just like how he's up on things. Like you can throw a punch, he already knew you was gonna throw it, and his face is always other side looking at you in the eye. And he see how your body's coming, so he's finna tap you, blah blah blah, get out the way. So it's just such like a strategy. So like, and I realized as I've been doing game more, it started becoming like a strategy. So like, I might be out with my friends, and I can see that my friends approaching this group of girls. He got the confidence to approach the girl, so that's gonna bring us all to the group of girls. But he's real thirsty, so I know this girl ain't feeling his vibe. So I'm about to come around on the back end and just alter my energy to kind of like not what his is, but still be interesting to her. And it's just little shit, like you'll start to know when to do what and why you need to do it.
Right.
And you'll start giving you those results, but you got to be into it. You got to be in the field to see what's work. You know what I'm saying? Like for instance, like it was two girls. I'm gonna explain these right quick. It was two girls, right? And my homie, it was a light skinned chick and it was a dark skinned chick.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, the light skinned chick was a little bit. They was about the same. They were both beautiful, but light skinned chick had a little edge above the dark skinned bitch. And but the light skinned girl was giving off all the wrong signals. She was saying like she was demonic, that she wanted to stab guys. But my friends, they were just so taken by the way she looked. And I'm thinking, my head, she's not right. She on some bullshit. I ended up messing with the girl who was probably like 0.5 less than that girl. But her energy was just right, and I ended up smashing her, and they ended up fucking with her. The other girl was like, man, she didn't even smash. She was on that bullshit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We took her out of the Waffle House, and she ate the food, but then she wanted to get dropped off, and all this shit. You know what I'm saying? She answered the phone in the car and was talking to another guy. So I was like, damn, yeah, because y'all wanted the baddest bitch so bad that y'all can see that she wasn't giving the right fucking sign. So sometimes you might have to take that other motherfucker who's gonna be way more compliant.
Exactly. Exactly. You talking facts, my dude. That's what the game is about, and you cultivate that by being in the game, like you said, by being in that field, because then things start to become second nature to you. You start to see and recognize, oh, I noticed this girl is cooperating more than this girl, or I noticed that this girl is more likely to make something happen than this chick, or I noticed that this girl's choosing and this girl's not. You feel what I mean? So you start to pick up on that shit, but it only happens when you put yourself out there. You see what I'm saying? So, but but most cats ain't none of that.
And they don't want to put their stuff out there, because that's how I am. If you got to, because I was messing with one girl. She was like, "Oh, I don't mess with guys like you because you got more of a scholarly look." That's what she said. But she like dreadhead guys.
Right.
Like, yeah, that's real buff. So I was like, cool. So like a person who not even feel that much, they're like, damn, man, I'm digging her. She the only one that, man, I was like, fuck that. I got abundant mindset. How about I meet another girl who looked damn near just like her?
Right.
But that was all into me. Now, if I would have been like, fuck it, just because this girl, I would never kept going to find it. You see what I'm saying? So now it's kind of like I got like a neutral platform. Like I don't get too high if a girl is interested in me, and I don't get too low if a girl's not.
Right. Real shit, man. You know what it is, bro. You know what it is, man.
Yeah.
You definitely know what it is.
Locario, keep doing what you're doing, because like the other guy said, this the type of shit is people don't realize how important game is.
Right.
Not just for approaching women, but like teaching you how to endure shit that's gonna inevitably come to your life. So you won't be one of those people that like, okay, she broke up with me, I'm finna kill her and her
right, exactly.
Crazy ass shit.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? It's not worth it. It's
right.
really not worth it. Guys listening, if a girl do anything to you, to cheat on you, you got to find that inner strength to just move on. Do not throw your whole fucking life away because some bitch cheated on you. Because I'm telling you, you're going to fuck the next dude. You know what I'm saying? Your ass going to be sitting in prison.
Real shit, bro. I appreciate the call, man. All right?
Yeah. Thank you, Mr. Locario. Make sure you have a good night. Keep putting out that
you
great
too,
content.
bro. Appreciate it.
All right.
All right, people. Man, it is about that time. Man. All right, so guys, listen. I'm going to have to cut it a little early tonight. But I appreciate all of you guys in the chat room. Who we had up in here tonight, man? We had Lottery Guru, Female Pimp. Female Pimp, you need to call some more, man. You need to call up to the show and stop being shy and all that shit. We had a Black Man in the building. Product was popping. What up, Albert Michelson we had in the building, 2017 Business. The Alpha Male is up in here. TJC Civic 4. Who else we had up in the spot tonight? Theo Man. Shout out to my dude Moving in Silence for moderating. Lance Rivera is in the building. Who else? Chris G, Jermaine Jones. Who else we got up in here? BGD. Peanut Worthy. Hilarious. This is a funny name. Odami was popping. You got you up in the building. Sweet Potato Pie is up in here. Who else we had up in the spot? Ricardo Gordon, John Eastland, Multi-Tech Dog, Old Dirty Dick, pause, in the building. So appreciate, shout out to all the people that was, coming through. Guys, make sure you get How to Have Sex 2 Women a Day, the ebook, hard copy, and audiobook. Also, be on the lookout for the Bad Boy book that's coming out soon. And next year, I'm going to be doing a lot of different things next year. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a lot more interviews with some coaches and stuff that I'm going to be putting up here. And also, I'm going to be doing more live events. So for all the people that wanted to, know about the lectures and all that, that's going to be coming up soon. And I got a few books, new books that I'm going to be coming out with in the next year. So, keep a lookout for that. So some new books, some new information, and all that good shit. You feel what I'm saying? But y'all, I appreciate every last one of y'all rocking with me tonight, this late. I know it's late out in this piece. You said interview some ladies. Yeah, I'm going to have to interview some ladies too. I'm going to make that shit pop. But yeah, I appreciate all you guys. And make sure you guys have a good night. And I will holler at you guys later. Alright, so y'all calling up like crazy right now. But yo, I'm going to be back on Friday. We're going to get it popping on Friday, alright? So I will talk to you guys later. Remember, the truth is inside you. Peace. I'm gone.